this link between purpose and resilience is so strong, and I wonder if you can talk about that.
It's a really important connection, that if you have a strong reason for living, you're going to fight to stay alive. If you get up in the morning and you don't really have any real sense of what are you going to do today, or why am I here, or whatever, and that becomes, or all you're doing is kind of chasing some kind of pleasure, some hedonistic, pursuit. There's not that much of a sense of urgency in having today mean something, that your life actually has value. You were given this gift and there has to be a return for this gift. So whether it's being around longer for your family, whatever it is, to make a contribution in some way, I every day I wake up, I really want to know, how can I make this day connect a little more to my getting home when I pass? And so if you don't have a reason for fighting back, you probably won't. And that's what purpose is. And it really almost always, we develop this notion of a self-transcendent purpose. You're going to fight a lot more. You're going to be a lot more resilient when you're fighting for a cause much bigger than yourself. That if you're fighting for your family, for your nation, for a good that transcends almost anything and everything, you're not going to give up. You're going to fight to your last breath. And so it's like, the more you figure out that your life really is not about you, it's about what you can do for others. And even in a competitive arena, that's what we were all about. We were about being a stronger, better competitor. We really help them understand that if you read Andre Agassi's book on Open, he had to rediscover a purpose. He could get to the top, but it was very empty, with the purpose just to be more famous, make more money, have all the things he wanted. But then he rededicated his life and his fame and his money to help kids have an opportunity at education, a charter school that he felt he could make a difference in their lives. And he got all his sponsors, and he again went from 141 in the world, where he was number one, back to number one. And he revered himself. He got rid of the artificial hair, just was himself. And everything he did was to help these kids. And at his Hall of Fame ceremony, he had a bunch of those people make presentations about how this school and this experience had changed their lives. And there was not a dry eye in the place. And that's what made him, I think, understand how important purpose is. To even someone you think, well, how does that affect my ability to compete? I mean, I'm all about, in an individual sport, get Olympic medals. Well, there's more to that than you think.
I want to transition to purpose after career, because the next person I'm talking to in an hour or so is a chaplain, a U.S. Army chaplain. And I want to talk with her about members of the military when they retire, because you have this incredible purpose when you're part of serving the nation, and you have this camaraderie and brotherhood and sisterhood, and you're part of a unit. But then that goes away. But the same thing happened for you and your clients, right? Jimmy Connors, the spotlight's on him. He's the number one player in the world, and then he retires, or Andre Agassi, or any of these incredible athletes. So what sort of work did you do for people to help them discover their purpose once their career was over?
So this is a pretty startling statistic, but I do a lot of work with wounded warriors, and 22 veterans commit suicide every single day. It used to be 24. They've gotten it down to 20, but that's 22 people a day commit suicide. And the reason they commit suicide is they can't rediscover their purpose. why am I here? I was an independent, I was very strong, and now I've gone from taking care of others. Now everyone has to take care of me. What can I possibly do with my life? I don't want to be a burden on others. I want to have something. So we did a lot of work. We brought in wounded warriors into HPI from all over the country. And we try to help them understand the importance of purpose and rediscovering their purpose. Because without that, there's almost no way they can win that battle. And they have to have a reason deep in their soul. For every single day is a nightmare when they can't do anything and they have to rely on others to take care of them. What is the reason you're going to survive here? Survival for what? And the same thing is true with professional athletes. Once, you're out of that, then you've got to kind of reinvent yourself. So what is this chapter all about? One of the most critical points in a person's life will be when they retire. And the reason is that all of the juices, everything that drove them suddenly is taken away. Their identity, everything that they have been part of for so long, the accolades, the money, everything. Now, all of a sudden, that comes to a screeching halt. And now you go, well, so what am I just supposed to do now? Die? So if you can't come up with a reason and become as excited about the next chapter as you were about the previous chapter, you're probably going to check out early. And the statistics actually affirm that. So it's a very critical point in retirement. And in fact, as you go into that space, whether it's from sports or anything else, you've got to start looking forward and having a kind of a landing pad that gets these juices flowing and excitement about what you can be doing. And I have to say that in almost all cases that we have studied intensely, it has very little to do with you. I mean, if you just want to go in and, do crossword puzzles, for yourself and to keep your brain active. But the more you can find a reason to have an existence that transcends your own self-interest, you've got to do this for a purpose that's bigger than yourself, whether it's to educate others, to teach others, to be something more than just in the space of your own life alone.